So, Scott, there's so much paper faxing still going on in this industry. I mean, just to get off the paper and somebody standing at a paper fax machine would be the first step in all of this. And then once we have something digital, we can deploy some of the programs we've heard that Consensus is working on. I saw a data point that said 9 billion fax pages are still sent every year. Why is that?
Just in healthcare.
Yeah, just in healthcare.
I actually think it's 9 billion faxes, not just fax pages.
Ah.
So it's even more than that.
Probably, yep.
And I think there's a key distinction first to be made here between cloud faxing and traditional faxing, because you're right. You don't want the papers laying around. You don't want busy signals. This is one of the problems that we began to solve years ago with the introduction of a cloud fax, because you eliminate all of those issues. It does transform in a digital manner. Why is it so persistent? Well, I think there's a variety of reasons. One, it's been embedded technology for a number of years. It's very easy to use. It's secure. It's reliable. It's HIPAA compliant, and receipt is verified. So for all of these reasons, you don't have to learn anything new if you're part of the healthcare ecosystem. And so we see it not only in healthcare, we see it actually in other industries as well, finance, legal, et cetera, where it has persisted over time and still continues to be a highly used form of communication of highly sensitive and important information.
Isn't it latent? Isn't it slower? Doesn't it cause additional problems where a fax might be sitting on a receiving end of a fax machine and patients can actually be harmed?
Absolutely, and that's why it's important to move from the physical or on-prem fax environment to the cloud. And that's something we began 25 years ago to facilitate in other industries, and then through a more recent effort in the last 5 to 6 years, really adapt our cloud fax services for the healthcare space to eliminate any of those issues that you might have with a physical fax and on-prem faxing.
So in the cloud, you don't have the same issues of large fax servers that might go down. You don't have the same issues
That's
with
correct.
systems getting, on-premise systems being compromised, et cetera.
We build in redundancy, we build in excess capacity, and the ability to scale as we see volumes increase, whether it's from our own existing customer base or as we add new customers. It's all part of what we do at Consensus.
So in the last 25 years, Consensus has built this legacy of cloud faxing. It had to have been one of the first to offer a digital cloud faxing solution. And is that expected to still continue to grow as these new communication protocols are being?
Absolutely, we continue to grow. We see it, of course, most dramatically in the healthcare space because it's a little younger space for us as a company, but we still continue to see that growth in finance and in legal, some of the verticals that we approached earlier on in our corporate life. And so some of it is the underlying volume of messaging and data. If it's growing in that particular company or that space, you're going to have a correlation then to the number of faxes and fax pages that are communicated. So we see an explosion of data in the healthcare space. I think it's something like 5 to 6x over the last 6 to 7 years based upon the increasing volume of testing, the aging demographic of the population, the more narrow conditions that are treated now. All of this works very well for an explosion of data, explosion of information, a large portion of which will be communicated via fax.
John, can you build on the challenge that Scott just mentioned and talk about, and you mentioned why we're uniquely positioned because we have this foundation of faxes and foundation of cloud faxing and the foundation of 25 years of customers. But can you build on how we're uniquely able to solve the problem of keeping faxing, looking at faxing growing, our platform can scale, but also implementing some of these more advanced interoperability solutions?
Well, I think it's important to recognize that over the 25 years that we've been in this industry, that we've connected to all sorts of players in the healthcare ecosystem, from insurers to pharmacies to providers, clinics, hospitals, social services, the CDC. And over time, that set of connections creates a natural hub for us as a space. I think that the idea here is, as we talked about a little bit earlier, not having that SWIFT system like you do in banking. Because we have so many endpoints that we've verified and understand where they are and who they are, we essentially can step into the role of being that trusted network. I can validate where something's been sent from and where it's going to. I can help with an address book if you need to find somebody who has a certain kind of specialty, for example, to help with a consult or to help with a referral. And because we have applied technology that allows us to transform protocols, to effectively change a fax into an HL7 message, we can accommodate both sender and receiver to use the protocol that they choose to use and still be able to accommodate the way both ends want that received. I think we're in a very unique position to really solve this healthcare interoperability challenge. And by marrying the 25 years of experience in building networks with the technology that we've put into place, this is something that can really be a breakthrough for healthcare generally.
So, partnering with us creates that one single connection point, and you don't have to have a bunch of vendors to look at, doing specific interfaces and point here and point there, because we can accommodate those different sending protocols. So, with our large install base, don't we have a great opportunity to upsell and add some of these other solutions that we just talked about? Because you start with digital cloud fax, but you might need to turn that unstructured to structured documents. Does that advanced interoperability work well with us because we have the ability to cross-sell and upsell?
What I really like to think about it is that we bring options to the table. It really is being able to fit the needs of the customer and ensure that we're able to deliver to them what it is that they need now. And if they're growing and if they find they have different needs in the future, the relationship that we've built, that trusted relationship for reliability and security, is going to be able to allow us to bring that customer new opportunities to be able to take advantage of the technology. So it's all things when you're ready for it, but I think the ability to have somebody who you've worked with, who you trust, and who has proven themselves reliable gives the customer the kind of confidence that they need to be able to reach out to us when they have these growth opportunities, and we're there to help.